Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. No more let sins and sorrows grow, nor thorns infest the ground. He comes to make his blessings flow, far as the curse is found, far as the curse is found, far as the curse is found. And he rules his world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, his words, and wonders of his love, 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 his love, his love, his love. This is Hope is a Light, and here's how it goes. So I sing the line, and then you sing the line exactly as I sang it. So it's I'll sing along with you so that you can get it. And it's basically an Advent song. Hope is a light. Hope is a light. Hope is a light to show the way. Hope is a light to show the way. Light the candle of hope. Light the candle of hope. Peace is a prayer. Peace is a prayer. And joy is a song. Joy is a song. Joy is a song for all to sing. Joy is a song for all to sing. Light the candle of joy. Light the candle of joy. Love is a gift. Love is a gift. Love is a gift our hearts can give. Love is a gift our hearts can give. Light the candle of love. Light the candle of love. Jesus is born. Jesus is born. Jesus is born in us today. Jesus is born in us today. Christ, the light for the world. Christ, the light of the world. Thank you.
And now it is my pleasure to introduce Reverend Maggie Alderman.
Hello, I am so happy to be joining you all again, especially getting a glimpse into the center, into your sanctuary, and know that you are gathering safely and being in the holiday spirit. At Unity, we come to this place to transform our lives, whether we know it or not when we first come in the door. It seems to be a common theme and a common thread that visitors come in and say, I feel like I have found home. And for the first time in a long time for many of us. So I have a story about transformation that I'd like to share with you all today. I just discovered it, and it's about a young girl. Her name is Magda. No similarity or relation, just a coincidence. Anyway, Magda was complaining one day about her trials and tribulations in life. She went to her dad and said, I'm just so tired of things just always coming up. It seems like I'm always staring at life through the face of adversity. And her father, being a trained professional chef, didn't say a word, but brought her into the kitchen with him. And there he filled up 3 stock pots full of water and put them on a high burner. And then he placed carrots in one pot, eggs in another pot, and coffee in the third pot. Not saying a word, he let the water come to a boil. Excuse me, come to a boil. And when it was done, he simply removed the carrots and put them in a bowl. He removed the eggs and put them in a bowl, and he strained and poured out the coffee into a bowl. Magda looked at her dad and said, what does all of this mean? I don't understand. What's this got to do with my trials and woes, Dad? Tell me. And he says, well, what do you see? And she said, well, I see coffee, eggs, and carrots. So he beckoned her closer and asked her to take a closer look and touch the carrots. And she noticed that they had gone mushy, and touched the eggs and they've become hard. And he says, when we put the carrots into the water, they were strong and unbending, relentless in their stature. And in the face of adversity, the boiling water, they became soft and limp and tender. In the same face of adversity, the boiling water, the eggs have gone from being in a fragile state and having a liquid center to being able to be cracked and find that they've hardened in the process. Now the coffee changed the water. So he turns to his daughter and he says, will you become soft? Will you become hard? Or will you change your circumstances, changing the water through transformation? That was the question for him. And that's the question I think we all face every single day. So we're going to take a deeper look at how we are transforming ourselves through the Advent season as we move through our time together. So let us take a moment now and prepare ourselves to receive the English translation of the Aramaic Lord's Prayer.
Holy Spirit, creator of life of all, create a space inside us and fill it with your presence. Let oneness now prevail. Your one desire flows through ours, fills all forms. Give us this day our physical and spiritual nourishment. Untangle the knots of error that bind us, that we also release others. Don't let appearances make us forgetful of the source, but free us to act from our highest nature. From your presence comes a glorious harmony of life. May these words be fertile ground from which our future grows.
It's such a beautiful prayer and a wonderful way for us to become grounded in meditation. So let us just stay in this space and take a deep breath. I'll invite you to close your outer eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Become comfortable and heavy in your seat. Remove any debris in your lap. And if you would like, place your feet flat on the ground. Once you've settled into this comfortable physical space, I'll invite you to take a deep and cleansing breath. Feeling your body relax on the exhale. I'll invite you to take another deep breath. And on the exhale, drop your shoulders a little lower. You may want to stretch your neck a little or roll your shoulders just to settle in and connect to the truth of our being that resides right here in the center of our heart space, the place where we experience the activity of life itself, one beat at a time. It's enough to simply be grateful and feel the activity in this chakra center and know that it is happening without any requirement from any of us. Our heart is being beaten for us. Our life is being sustained through the one power and the one presence that is God, the good omnipotence. So we relax into that truth. We relax into that knowing at a cellular level that we are interconnected, that we are provided for, that we are in the flow and the stream of life. And as it goes, it is always unfolding for our highest and best good in every single circumstance, in every relationship, in every holiday, through every challenge, and even in the face of adversity. Divine order is at work in my life right now. Affirming and knowing that we allow for the activity of that truth to spread from our heart up into our thoughts and our mind, closer to our crown chakra, where we are connected to the life energy of the divine, the universal energy that is law. And we allow for the truth that divine order is at work in my life right now to penetrate our thoughts. Divine order is at work in my life right now. Letting that sit with us for just a few moments. I invite you to observe how one thought at a time that may be tied to worry, maybe tied to problem solving, most definitely may be tied to your to-do list, begins to relax. Divine order is at work in my life right now. Knowing that this is true, we are invited to step aside and create space for the activity of spirit in our thoughts first. The activity of a universal law, a perfect thought, clear imagination, divine ideas that are unlimited to be experienced and flow through us right here and now. Divine order is at work in my life right now. And as we rest in this truth and feel our mind relax, envision just this little space, just a little clear blue box for God to be invited in, to enter into our thoughts that carry into our vision, to see things rightly, to enter into our hearing, to hear things clearly. Divine order is at work in my life right now. And that truth carries down into our power center, our voice, which empowers us to speak lovingly, directly, truthfully, all the time. Divine order is at work in my life right now. And as we are coming into the 4th week of the Advent season, recognizing that we have been spotlighting the attributes of the divine: faith, peace, love, joy, and holding on to the affirmation, knowing that divine order is active in my life right now. Where can we relax? Where can we let go and allow more room for the Spirit of God to move in and as and through us, to bring about our highest Christ consciousness into the world? So I will invite you to take a moment with me in the silence to listen to what needs to be revealed, to see what needs to show itself, to feel what needs to be felt in order to process, to bring forth clearer understanding, deeper wisdom, and an acceptance of exactly who and what we are in this moment and in each moment that is yet to come. Let us take one big, deep breath and pause in the silence. Opening this door to our willing connection to the voice of Spirit that is right here, ready to be heard in any moment. Recognizing where we are in the process of preparing for Christmas and for the new year, knowing that divine order is at hand, we relax and couple an affirmation that may be suitable for you. I have time enough. I have strength enough. I have patience enough. I have faith enough. I have love enough. And on and on and on. Because God is our source. And all is working and conspiring in our favor for the highest and best outcome in all circumstances. Christmas will come exactly as it should, exactly as you are, and we are so grateful. So as we finish our time in meditation, allow this truth to sink all the way down to your toes and come right up through the top of your head, filling the vehicle of your body with truth, with light, with love, and know how important we are, how important this work is to carry that truth out into the world. That's a Christmas gift that should not ever be denied. And so in that truth and that knowing, I feel such gratitude for the unique expressions that each of us are, and recognize how we contribute to the fullness of the life experience. And I allow myself to smile and relax and breathe deeply, affirming one more time, divine order is at work in my life right now. We release that word as truth, knowing that the work is done, and simply being grateful by expressing, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
Oh, my joy, oh, my joy, oh, my joy. Bless this day, bless this day, oh, my joy. Life begins, stillness in. Oh, my joy, oh, my joy, oh, my joy. Holy grace on each face, oh, my joy, oh, my joy. God above, sacred love, God within, life begins, all is true. God is you, oh, my joy, oh, my joy. Bless my tears, bless my fears. Life begins, stillness in. Rise, oh, my joy, oh, my joy, oh, my joy. Oh, my joy, oh, my joy, oh, my joy.
That was simply stunning. Thank you. Thank you. Well, my friends, it's so good to be back with you, and quite a surprise, though I don't even know. I'm at a loss for words. I'm just so happy to see you. I'm so happy to have the opportunity. I didn't think I was going to be able to see you all again before the end of the year or into next year. So what a wonderful treat it is for me to be with you. And this is my favorite time of year, not because it's Christmas, because it's almost over. I'm just kidding. But it is that we are in the last stretch of Advent. And what a wonderful time for us to experience all of our natural Christ-like attributes that are existing within each one of us. In my congregation, we've been talking a lot about Advent. We've been following the theme week after week. And still, last week, somebody came up and kind of sheepishly said, hey, what's Advent again? So in case it hasn't been said enough here, I will explain it to you all one more time. Advent is the process of preparing with the expectation of an important arrival. So, of course, we have the birth story of Jesus in the Bible documented in 2 of the books of our Christian scriptures. And there is plenty that shows the preparation that was highlighted with the areas that we focus on. Jesus was a man of faith, and it took tremendous faith for everyone that was involved in bringing him into being and celebrating and affirming the Christ as the Messiah, as they would have seen it, would have required an enormous amount of faith, especially given the times. Then we turn ourselves to look at peace, and we look within to see where we are leaking energy that allows our peace, our inner peace, to be disturbed. And when we evaluate that and we can identify what may be attacking that peace or allowing that energy to just slip out the back door, then we can start to cultivate new ways to maintain our center, our groundedness in the truth of who and what we are. And I think about in the birth story, the peace that came across the shepherds and the wise men, as a matter of fact, in being beckoned to witness this newborn king that has come into our existence. And then we move on, and from peace, we go to love. And Jesus was all love. His ministry was love, to love one another the way that I have loved you was his last commandment, his covenant with us, with his disciples, to carry on. And so we look at all of the ways that we experience love. For me, it isn't necessarily difficult for me to shine love outward, but I do have sometimes some difficulty receiving love because I'm a caretaker and I'm a minister, and that's what I do. I love you. And it's hard for me to accept that. So my time in preparation has been where I have a rub, where I have a fear, where I could let down my wall just a little bit more to allow more love in. And I had a great week last week doing that. I've experienced so much in the richness of humanity, the generosity of spirit. I've given love more freely and been showered with it in return. So now this last week, we are moving along and we are starting to expect the celebration of all the hard work we have done internally and recognizing all of the joy that came with the promise and the fulfillment of the prophecy. The Messiah is born. So we are celebrating, we are in joy, we are in the expectation of a world that is forever altered. And now that's a great story. It's one of my favorites. It's my favorite time of year, even though I was sarcastic at the start. And in Unity, we take a metaphysical approach, that is to look beyond the physical. So we look and overlay how scripture, how an ancient story is still applicable if we look through the metaphysical lens and apply it into our life, into our circumstances, and who we are and who we want to be. So this is the time of great expectation. The important person that is anticipated on December 25th is not Jesus, not in 2021, but the most important person and the greatest expectation is you. It is each one of you and what you are doing to cultivate, to nurture, to bravely look within and embrace where there needs to be healing, where there needs to be release, where we need to create room for the Spirit of God to move in and through us and in and through our lives. So I am just so impressed with the work that my community has been doing. I'm seeing it and I'm watching for evidence of Advent, of maturing, of awakening that is becoming evident everywhere I turn. And that brings me great joy. So I'm kind of a nerd, and sometimes I don't trust myself to rely on what I think a definition is. So I literally went to the dictionary just to make sure I knew what joy was. And Webster says that it's a feeling of great pleasure and happiness. Well, I knew that, and I know you know that, but how do I tie that into my experience of Christmas, of the Advent season? Well, the other night I was sitting still and doing my very best to block out the noise of an extremely full household. I have my mother visiting, my middle child is visiting, and we have a little house that is comfortable for 2 or 3, but not for 6. So I was trying to block out the noise, and I was reminded of my last childhood, real childhood Christmas memory. So I want to share that with you right now. I was 9 years old in El Paso, Texas, growing up, and I had it in my mind that I wanted a kick scooter, one of those just push scooters, riding along, but I wanted one that had the handbrakes and specifically, I wanted a purple scooter, and it was just my Christmas wish. So I put that and only that on my Christmas list to Santa that year. Well, I was also at that age where you start to kind of wonder, are there price tag remnants left over from the toys made in Santa's workshop? Who is this Santa guy anyway? Well, on Christmas Eve that year, I was awakened and started to hear some noise that was coming from my living room. And now I had the bedroom that had the straight shot to the living room and right to the Christmas tree. But I laid there stock still. Is it Christmas already? Is it morning? I thought. Could that be Santa? Oh, do I dare take a peek? Of course I took a peek. I was 9. So I looked around the corner. And I tell you to this day, and I'm 44, I will still tell you that who I saw was Santa placing a lavender colored, white rubber tired kick scooter with hand brakes, better than anything I could have even possibly imagined. That was the magic of Christmas for me. And that's the magic that I carry in to this week, especially when it's joy that we are looking at, joy that we are expecting, and joy that we are cultivating in all areas of our lives. Then I got to thinking, well, how we now prepare for Advent as adults isn't quite or it's not too different than the way we did as children. It just looked different. So allow me to elaborate. When we were kids, we had faith, and it looked like exorbitant hope that we were going to create a list and it was going to come true. That looked like, for me, having the Toys R Us catalog and taking my black magic marker and thumbing through it and just imagining all the wonderful things that I could do with an easy bake oven, and the Barbies that I wanted to dress up and do their hair, and the video games that came along later. Boy, I wanted it all. And I had hope and I had faith that it was all going to be possible. So I fold that up and I send that off to Santa. So that's faith. In the process of waiting, how we busy ourselves, how we start to create maybe a little drama as adults while we're in the place of discomfort, we did as kids. So peace. The second piece was what to do while we waited. There was a lot to get done. Schoolwork had to be finished. House had to be decorated. Help in the kitchen, making cookies and whatnot. Whatever the tradition was, there were things that we did as children that made the time go by. And it helped us just stay in the moment, not get ahead of ourselves, just be in peace. And then love. And love comes from the expression of all of the traditions, and they would be unique to your families. And some of them would be shared with other families. So our traditions look like, for me, going out and seeing all that there was for the best holiday light shows, who decorated their homes and their neighborhoods the best. And in the process of that, we would blare Christmas music, and my mom and I would sing them at the top of our lungs and stir the spirit. There was a lot of shopping. There was a lot of parties. And as a kid, especially, there may or may not have been a little bit of sucking up just to make sure that what I had hoped for and was maintaining my peace within also got a little extra love to see if I could seal the deal. And then finally is joy in the experience of the excitement to see that our expectations and what we hoped for would be made visible to us on Christmas morning. It would manifest under the Christmas tree. So that's how we did it as kids. And now as adults, our faith is the inner working to see what it is within ourselves, to know that we are strong enough, to know that we are divine beings, to know that we are powerful with our words and our thoughts. So we have the ability to dig deep and to allow for new ideas, new dreams, new anything that is possible to come to the surface and to maybe circle it, maybe make a vision board, maybe just write it down and think, one day, someday, I have faith. Then we learn to center ourselves. Now, this is where I've struggled a little bit because I think that God is somewhere with a wristwatch and it must be synced to mine. So when I say I want something and I'm ready for it, chop, chop. But it doesn't necessarily happen that way. Often it doesn't happen that way. And I view this as a time for me to really become clear, to let that idea go from liquid jello to solidified, to be in peace and relax and let go of the outcome, knowing that my highest and best is at work. That's our inner peace. And then we move on to love. And this is where I had to remember, yes, a unity minister, had to remember this year the truth, the seed of origin from which we are all created comes from unconditional divine love. And so I took that remembrance in and have used that to really, like I said, to lower my walls, but to also connect more deeply, to connect more authentically, to connect without an agenda, to the divine in every way in which it shows up for me. And now, with all of that in our minds and all of that activity of spirit going on within our being, we're coming down the home stretch, and there is an excitement in the air. Joy to the world. There is an excitement that is expressing, because we are all in great anticipation of seeing what will be made manifest through each and every one of us. From Psalm 118, it says, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it."
If I were a wise man from some far distant land, would I bring precious treasures at God's command? Would I leave on a journey and travel far? Would I cross a wide desert to follow a star? Would I cross a wide desert to follow a star? And if I were a shepherd on a dark rocky hill, would I leave all my sheep to do as God wills? Would my heart fill with joy and my feet travel far? Would I cross a wide desert to follow a star? Would I cross a wide desert to follow a star? God bless all our children, bathed in holy light. Bless those fearful or hungry or lonely tonight. Will we reach out to help them or watch from afar? Would we cross a wide desert to follow a star? Would we cross a wide desert to follow a star? And if strangers came knocking on my door today, would I welcome them in? Would I turn them away? Would I see they were tired from a journey so far? Would I cross my wide desert to follow a star? Would I cross my wide desert to follow a star? God bless all our children, bathed in the holy light. Bless those fearful or hungry or lonely tonight. Will we reach out to help them or watch from afar? Would we cross a wide desert to follow a star? Would we cross a wide this moment on earth? Would we see God's creation? Would we honor His word? Would we reach out to help Him or watch from afar? Would we cross a wide desert to follow a star? Would we cross a wide desert to follow a star? Would we cross a wide desert to follow a star?
Thank you.
Beautiful. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I'm not one that keeps scripture in my memories, but this is one that I know by heart. However, I want to offer the metaphysical interpretation. The day is an opportunity. Think of it as a blank canvas of potential, unlimited potential. So we've been given a blank canvas, this potential to cultivate and to create whatever it is that we want to be, and how we want to show up begins with that single thought. How we want to experience our reality is all held in mind. And rejoicing and being powerful and expressing and good stewards of our words and our relationship with ourselves, with one another, and with the divine. So when we have great potential and we can do anything we want with it, that's worth celebrating. That's good news worth sharing. I turned to another definition in the Revealing Word from Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore. I looked up joy to see what he had to say, and this is what it had written. The happiness of God expressed through His perfect idea of man or human. Joy and gladness are strength-giving, especially if the mind is fixed on things of spirit. It's a principle that we talk about often, that we have the responsibility and the ability to fix our thoughts on spirit anytime, anywhere. And we have the ability to recognize ourselves as the ultimate divine perfection, not because I say so, and not because you think so, but because God made us. God created, not by accident, not by mistake, through the ability to only create an image of perfection. So Christmas time is the perfect time to experience this wonder and be reminded of the truth. It's a time to be in the joy of our perfect idea and realize, like I did maybe, that strength comes from joy. I think strength comes from hunkering down, from getting my bullhorns and powering through. I forget that I can take a deep breath and open my eyes in wonder to see the splendor of Spirit's creation all around me and in the mirror. So I think about how our children are experiencing Christmas this time of year. And through the eyes of a child, there is magic every which way we turn. There's the magic of lights that spring up on our neighbors' homes and on office buildings. There's the magic of ice skating in Canada, not here in Florida, but there's the magic of something turned solid enough to experience joy differently. There's the magic of stockings being hung, trees being decorated, and all of our favorite goodies just streaming out of the kitchen, one cookie sheet at a time. Magic, magic, magic everywhere. Well, as adults, I realize that we are the magic makers. We, the adults, are the ones that are doing the magic. Now think about it. We do all of the chores for sure, but the magic comes in how we seamlessly and non-verbally agree that this is a time of cultivating, of expecting the arrival of something grand. We cooperate by decorating our homes and not stepping on each other's toes. We cooperate by allowing people to move in line or sharing a coupon at the checkout, whatever it may be. We do these things to illumine ourselves, our environment during the darkest time of the year. So while it's wonderful that we have the ability to also be magic makers, it is also exhausting making magic. And as the time moves on, those lines grow longer, fuses grow shorter, and tempers flare. Then something else happens. Then family comes to town. Then there's no turkeys to be had in your local grocery store. Then you all are back in another lockdown. And it's then that we seem to just snap. Well, I am not exempt from that. And I know none of you are either. I found myself just a couple of days ago having a big good old-fashioned hissy fit, thinking, when do I get my Christmas? When do I get to sit in the wonder? When do I get to observe all of the work that is going on in my internal spiritual and physiological system? When do I get to see the lights and have cookies and do all of the fun magical things? When do I get to experience Christmas? And then it hit me. Unity principle number 3. I am creating the experience of my reality by the thoughts that I'm thinking in my very own head. And I am experiencing Christmas. I'm just experiencing it in a time running out, tempers running short, not enough room in my physical inn to be comfortable with my entire family. And I have the ability to say, I can choose a new thought. I can choose to redirect my emotions, my feelings, my thoughts, and my energy back into the alignment with spirit, trained on spirit. I find strength in joy. So the importance is that we can do this all year long. But we get this mega dose. We get to fill our gas tank with joy, enough to carry us into the new year, and to remember that we can do that at any time. So here are a few ways that I have learned and would like to share with you how to do this. One, because our thoughts are so powerful, it may require a fine-tuning. Here's an example. In my church, we have been in transition with our music team. It came unexpectedly, kind of out of the blue, and with very little notice. And I started saying in my affirmations, I am willing to be surprised. And boy, was I. I kept getting surprise after surprise after surprise until I thought one day, I'm not exactly getting what I expect to receive. So let me apply a detail. I am willing to be pleasantly surprised. And I have shifted my reality, and I have experienced the outpouring of pleasant surprises in my everyday. So think for you what it is that you are praying on, what you are working to manifest and create, either as an expression of yourself or drawing into your realm of reality. If it hasn't come in clearly or yet, or you're not getting the experience that you thought you would, you may just need a little adjective to be inserted. Second, it's very difficult. I recognize that we have so much to do to pack it all in and get Christmas exactly like we think we ought to have it. So that may require us stealing away a few moments to find our joy. And that might look completely different day over day and different from your friends, your family, and your neighbors. For instance, I love peace and quiet. I have a grandpa chair. I like to sit back. I like my cold beverage. I don't want the TV on, and I don't want anyone to talk to me for 30 minutes after I walked in the door and sat down. That is peaceful. It cultivates strength and joy for me. And I love people, and I love music events, and I love going shopping, and I love parties, but I don't always love that any given day, depending on how I'm feeling. So relax your expectations and allow for that inner voice of spirit to draw to you or point you in the direction of what may be exactly what you need to experience joy. You may need to sneak out of the house just to go have a hot cup of coffee by yourself. And you may be seeking out a heavy metal concert for all I know. There is no judgment here. Remember that we are God's perfect idea expressing. We are as God intended us to be, exactly, and no different. So look at yourself in the mirror through the eyes of God. Speak to yourself in your thoughts as though God is speaking directly to you. And lastly, just take a deep breath, my friends. Find that place within your being where you recognize and accept yourself as a divine perfection, and then go and be that. That's unity principle number 5, to live the truth we know. And this week and every week, being joy to the world is the greatest gift I can possibly think of this Advent season. I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Thank you for having me today, and namaste.
Thank you, Reverend Maggie, and of course the musicians.
What if the heaven that we seek is in the dirt and rock beneath our feet, or the ocean that comes rushing to our shore? And afterlife's our distant thought as we learn to live the lives we've got. Bless the circling of the sun for one day more. Our eyes wide open, learn to see cathedrals made of cedar trees, the ordinary holiness we are. We are Milky Ways on a dark, dark night. Will we blaze our trail and claim our light and give away our gifts and shine our star? Oh, in a moment of perfect grace, oh God, reflected in every face. And will I ever be wise enough to know that compassion comes in blanket folds when hearts lie shattered in the cold? Broken, we rise from the blow. Oh, tarnished, we are precious treasure. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh we measure. There's beauty in our cracks we call our scars. We're big brown moons on a dark, dark night. Will we blaze our trail and shine our light and give away our gifts and shine our stars. Shine our stars wrapped in love, all of us. Shine our stars, holy grace, God's embrace. Blessed be, blessed be. Shine our stars, born to love God in us. Shine our stars, kneel in prayer, I'll join you there. God in thee, God in me. Oh, bless every baby at their birth as a gift of God right here on earth. Precious sacred blessings made of love. All mothers, fathers, to them all will we raise them up and heed their call. Our arms outstretched, oh Lord, that's what we're made of. Bring miracles to the everyday. Watch the conflict in us slip away. The bigness of a small step takes us far. We are radiant on a dark, dark night. Will we blaze our trails and claim our light and give away our gifts and shine our stars? Shine our stars. Shine our stars. Shine our stars. Shine our stars. Shine our stars wrapped in love, all of us. Shine our stars, holy grace, God's embrace. Blessed be, blessed be. Shine our stars, born to love God in us. Shine our stars, kneel in prayer, I'll join you there. God in thee, God in me, God in thee, God in me.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, we have a big event happening this week, our beautiful Unity candle lighting service. It is always the most memorable evenings of the year, and this year we are pulling out all of the stops and we are raising the bar. Expect inspiring music, 6 renowned musicians, and a powerful meditation and joyous recognition of the divine heritage that the lighting of the candle does for your own person. So this year, because of the COVID recent restrictions that have been in place for a couple of days, we have had to make the very difficult decision to put everything as a virtual event. So you will experience the candle lighting. You will be in your own home. And also we have prepared for you, when you leave today, a candle and a blessing that you can take with you so that you can feel that you are part of it. So we really appreciate your understanding of this, and we feel that this is an important thing. Also, moving forward until at least the end of the year, all of our services will be virtual online until we let you know that things have changed. So that's what we're doing here, and we appreciate everything that you do to support our center. So please come on December the 26th from your own home, and we will have an illuminating experience together. And make sure that you tell your friends and spread the word, because we would love to have them there too. We also will be having our Christmas morning service via Zoom on YouTube at 11 a.m. So Reverend Rona Segura will lead us in the celebration of this true transformational message of Christmas. She will be giving the one on Christmas Eve, on candlelighting, and then she will be here with us on Christmas Day. So Christmas preludes will begin at 10:50 as usual with song, and please note that the service will be available only online. Following that, we have our Burning Bowl with Reverend Richard Rogers, who will lead us through into our annual Burning Bowl ceremony. Virtually, you can do it, helping to clarify what we intend to let go of in this past year. And this is a wonderful process, so we really, really want you to be here so that you can set a powerful, life-changing force in motion. And on January 2nd, Reverend Bob will be back and will conduct our Unity Whitestone ceremony, a most precious first Sunday of 2022, the process to help you overcome any blocks to spiritual growth and to set the stage for the highest possible level of consciousness. The Whitestone process has its roots in the books of Revelation, where it is written that the Unity mystic Emily Cady had written about. And we are all looking forward to Reverend Bob, and we know you're going to be watching it. To learn about all our weekly events, please look at our Unity website at www.unityofvancouver.org, and you can see all of the upcoming events that are happening, including our services that Reverend Trask does offer for counseling, and also just stay on at the end of the peace songs if you would like to have prayer and breakout rooms.
Let's finish our time together by saying our prayer for protection, if you will join me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.